What's up guys, welcome to Oliver's film tutorial, and today I'm going to show you the basics of films. There are three main components of filmmaking: camera, sound and editing. First of all, I will tell you everything you need to know about cameras. First of all, you need to know how to frame a shot. Framing is the arrangement of objects so that they fit within the picture of the film. The most important thing while framing is to make sure you get the right frames for headroom, looking room and leading room. Using these three wrong can lead to empty spaces on the shot, which is called dead space, which will make the shot look unprofessional and tacky. Then you have many different camera angles, to name some: long shots, medium shots, close-ups, longer, low-angle shots and high angles. Once you have your scene framed, you need it to be focused. While taking stills, most people like to use autofocus, and autofocus is good for moving the camera fast, e.g. when you're going to interview people in the street. However, when there is low-key lighting, the camera doesn't know what to focus on, therefore you will need to focus it yourself. Focusing it yourself is good for when you want In photography, exposure is the amount of light per unit area reaching a photographic film, as determined by shutter speed, lens aperture and scene luminance. This is what a scene looks like with a lot of exposure, and this is what a scene looks like with not a lot of exposure. Now, let's talk about where light comes from, besides the sun. The three-point lighting system is a standard method used in visual media such as video, film, still photography and computer-generated imagery. It is a simple but effective system which forms the basis of most lighting. The technique uses three lights called the key light, the fill light and the backlight. The key light is the main light. It is usually the strongest and has the most influence on the look of the scene. It is placed to one side of the camera, or the subject, so that this side is well lit and the other side has some shadow. The fill light is the secondary light and is placed on the opposite side of the key light. It is used to fill the shadows created by the key, and the fill will usually be softer and less brighter than the key. Then there's the backlight, which is placed behind the subject and lights it from behind. Rather than providing direct lighting, its purpose is to provide definition and subtle highlights around the subject outline. This helps separate the subject from the background and provide a three-dimensional look. In most productions, the footage will be edited after all of it has been filmed and collected. However, in some productions which are live, such as news broadcasts, there's not enough time to edit the footage. Therefore, it must be edited on the spot by a team. This is known as vision mixing. This can be a quite nerve-wracking job, as it requires a lot of focus and concentration. If even one thing goes wrong, such as the wrong camera is transitioned to, then the entire production will become disorganized as they try to fix the problem, and eventually, if the problem isn't fixed, it will stop the program. A talkback system is very effective in multi-camera productions. It allows editors, directors and mixers to communicate with the crew on set. However, there are many things that could go wrong. The speaker must be clear about what they are saying. Misinterpretations can lead to mistakes. Inconsistent, unclear and ambiguous talkback will not only slow down a production, it will affect its quality. During this, you need good communication, such as clear voices. There are three types of sound while filming a scene. One of them is ambient sound, which is background sounds which are present in a scene or location. Common ambient sounds include wind, water, birds, crowds, office noises, traffic, or more. It is used to provide audio continuity between shots, preventing an unnatural silence when no other sound is present and establishing or reinforcing the mood. Then you have sync sound, which is when a picture is being shot. The sound that is recorded at the same time as the picture is called sync sound. A crystal or cable sync is used for sync sound in order for things to be lined up correctly and not out of sync. And finally, there is non-sync sound, which is sound which accompanies picture but does not have to be in sync with it. This type of sound can often be recorded separately from the footage. Now we come to talk about post-production. Final Cut Pro is a non-linear video editing software developed by Macromedia Inc. and later Apple Inc. The most recent version, Final Cut Pro X10.1, runs on Intel-based Mac OS computers powered by an OS X version 10.9 or later. The software allows users to log and transform videos onto a hard drive where it can be edited, processed, and outputted to a wide variety of formats. As in most digital nonlinear editing applications, the browser is not an interface to the computer's file system. It is an entirely virtual space in which references to the clips that are placed for easy access and arranged into folders called bins. Since they are only references to the clips that are on the media drive of the computer, moving or deleting a source file on the media hard drive destroys the link between the entry in the browser and the actual media. This results in a media offline situation and the media must be reconnected. The canvas outputs the content of the timeline. To add clips to the timeline besides dragging them there, it is possible to drag clips from the browser or viewer onto the canvas, whereupon the so-called edit overlay appears. The edit overlay has 7 drop zones into which clips can be dragged in order to perform different edits. The default is the overwrite edit, which overwrites at a point in or at a space occupied after the playhead with the incoming clip. The insert edit slots a clip into the sequence at the point or playhead's position, keeping the rest of the video intact but moving it all aside so that a new clip fits. The viewer has tabs for each channel of the selected clip's audio in which the waveform for the audio can be viewed and scrubbed, and where its volume can be keyframed. The Filters tab is where effects for the clip appear and where their parameters can be adjusted and keyframed. Clips can be edited together in timelines called sequences. Sequences can be nested inside other sequences so that a filter or transition can be applied to the grouped clips. Markers are reference points in which you can place clips to locate, identify, annotate, and navigate to specific frames. In editing, markers are particularly useful for synchronizing 2 or more clips at a specific point. Audio mixing is the process by which multiple sounds are combined into 1 or more channels. In the process, the source's signals level, frequency content, dynamics, and panoramic position that are manipulated and affected, such as reverb, may be added. The most basic and common type of transition is the cut, which just basically cuts to the next shot. There is also the fade, where they fade in and or out from the next shot. Another is the wipe, where one shot replaced by another travelling from one side of the frame to another. And finally, dissolve, which happens when one shot is gradually replaced by the next. Here are some examples of the one mentioned. Well, that's it guys for Oliver's tutorial this week. I hope you found this information very helpful, and join us next week where I will be giving you more information on how to make your films look very professional indeed. See you all next time.